turn this into a realistic photo. And it absolutely nailed it. Colorize this manga. Oh my god, this is way too easy. Or let's change National Geographic into artificial intelligence. And it did this beautifully while keeping the original font and size of the text. Or let's upload this character and create a model sheet with her front, back, and side view. No problem at all. Or let's upload this and make them bald. Very nice. Or let's turn this into Simpson style. Or how about South Park style? Alright, let's use a photo of Will Smith and Emma Watson and get them to eat spaghetti together. And it nailed this too. Very nice. So last week, I featured this free AI image editor called OmniGen 2. Well, forget about that. This one is way better and faster. It's called Flux Kontext Dev, and this is hands down the best AI image editor you can use for free right now. Now, a few weeks ago, I featured the pro version of Flux Kontext, but that one was closed source and you need to pay to use it. Well, this week they finally released the open weights version, which is called Flux Kontext Dev. And the best thing is this is completely free for you to download and use offline for unlimited times. So in this video, I'm going to go over all the incredible things that it can do. Plus, of course, I'm also going to show you step by step how to download and install this on your computer so you can use it for free for unlimited times offline. Let's jump right in. Here's what the interface looks like, and don't worry, in the latter half of the video, I'm going to go over all these settings. But first, let's test this out to show you how good this is. Let's say you have this photo, but there are a ton of annoying tourists in the background. Well, let's get this AI to remove all these tourists. So I'm going to upload this image here, and then for the positive prompt, I'm going to write remove everyone in the background. Let's click run and see what that gives us. And here is what we get. How cool is that? Indeed, it removes all the people from this original image. And if I pull up my terminal, note that I'm running an RTX 5000 Ada, which has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and that only took 100 seconds, so it's pretty fast. And note that your output image is automatically saved in your ComfyUI output folder, as you can see here. Alright, next, let's try something even trickier. So I'm gonna upload this black and white photo with a lot of cracks and blemishes and scratches. So let's get this AI to restore this. So for the prompt, I'm gonna write fix the cracks, folds, or scratches on the image, and in fact, let's also colorize this. So let's press run and see what that gives us. And here is what we get. This is ridiculously good. It indeed removes all these cracks or folds, plus it colorizes the image while preserving all the details, including this person's face. I mean, she looks exactly like the woman in the original photo. It doesn't distort her face in any way. And it was able to do this locally on my computer in just over a minute. So, I mean, this tool is going to be so useful for image restoration. Now, as you can see, Flux Kontext Dev is really good at colorizing things. So here's another example. I'm going to upload this photo of a page from a manga, and then for the prompt, I'm going to write colorize this. And here is our result. This is so powerful. You know, in just a few seconds, it was able to turn this line art page into a fully colored page. Now, if you want specific colors, of course, you can also specify this in the prompt. But notice how good this is. It keeps all the details and the text consistent. Whereas if you plug this through other AI image editors, it often messes up the text. But here, everything remains the same as before. Alright, next what I'm going to do is upload this image of a fight scene, and let's convert this into different styles. First of all, let's try to turn this into anime style. Let's press run and see what that gives us. And here is what we get. This is so good at converting something into anime style. Like, even the background and all the people in the scene are also converted into anime. Like, this is the most impressive realistic to anime converter I've come across so far. Now, instead of anime style, let's also try 3D Disney Pixar style. Let's press run and see what that gives us. And here is what we get. Indeed, it converts this into kind of a Disney Pixar style. Very cool. Now, instead of Disney Pixar, let's also try pixel art style. And let's see what that gives us. And here is what we get. It indeed converts this into pixel art. I mean, this is so good at following my prompt and actually editing the image to whatever I specify. Alright, now let's try to do some micro edits. So here's the original image. Let's get it to remove their sunglasses, and I'm gonna put a red scarf on this guy, and let's put a cowboy hat on this guy. So I'm gonna write remove their sunglasses, put a red scarf on the man on the left, and a cowboy hat on the man on the right. Let's press run and see if it can figure this out. And here is what we get. Indeed, it adds a red scarf to this man plus a cowboy hat to this man, and it removes their sunglasses. It even keeps the original expression. So again, it's really good at preserving the details of the original photo and only editing the parts which I specify. This is such a powerful tool. Alright, next let me upload this meme photo, and for the prompt, let's put make them bald. And here's our result. It does make them bald while keeping their faces consistent. Like, these still do look like the original characters. So this is really good at micro editing. Or instead of making them bald, let's turn them into Simpson style. And here is what we get. This is way too easy. Or instead of that, let's turn them into South Park style. And here's what we get. Very impressive. Indeed, it turns this into South Park style while preserving the details of everything. Alright, next let's see if it can remove watermarks and other stuff. So I'm going to upload this gameplay scene from Genshin Impact, and let's try to get it to remove all these buttons in this user interface. So let's just put something like remove the UI, and let's press run and see if it can figure this out. And here is what we get. It removes all the elements from the user interface. Really impressive. Alright, next I'm gonna upload this image with a ton of copyright watermarks. And then for the prompt, I'm gonna write remove all the watermarks. Let's press run and see what we get. How cool is that? It indeed removes all the watermarks from the original image. There's not a lot of AI image editors that can actually do this very well, but Flux Kontext is able to ace this. Plus, this dev version is completely free and open source. Now, Flux Kontext is actually really good at changing text while preserving the original font. So let me upload this cover of a National Geographic magazine, and then for the prompt, I'm gonna put change the text from National Geographic to artificial intelligence. Let's press run and see what that gives us. And here we go. It handles this beautifully. It indeed changes the text National Geographic to artificial intelligence while preserving the original size and font. It also doesn't affect the rest of the image, so the rest of the text at the bottom still remain the same and unaltered, which is great. If you tried doing this with other AI image editors and you have text somewhere else in the image, often it would mess this up. But here, it handles it very well. It only changes the text that I specified. Alright, next, I'm gonna upload this fake driver's license, and let's change the license number. So for the prompt, I'm gonna put change the number from 134711320, which is this number over here, and let's set that to 696969-69. Let's press run. Oh my god, would you look at that? It absolutely nailed it. It indeed changed this number to what I specified, while keeping the rest of the details of this license intact. Super impressive. Or here's another crazy thing you can do. You can take someone's ID and generate an image of them doing anything. So for the prompt, let's try the man is in a cozy cafe. Let's press run and see what that gives us. And would you look at that? This indeed is a photo of this man in a cozy cafe. I mean, this tool is so powerful for creating deep fakes. You can easily generate a photo of anyone doing anything. And I mean, this looks exactly like this guy. Alright, next let's try something even harder. So I'm going to upload this photo of a kingfisher, and right now it's pretty far away. So let's get it to zoom in and make this a more professional looking photo. For the prompt, I put zoom in on the bird, ultra sharp details of the bird, professional wildlife photography. And here is what we get. Indeed, it zooms in on this photo and it adds more details to the overall bird while keeping everything else the same. Like the fish over here and the pose of this kingfisher, plus this lotus flower remains the same. Alright, next let's try this. I'm going to upload this photo, and I deliberately made this a lot darker. I changed the brightness and contrast, and I messed up the white balance. So let's plug it through this AI, and for the prompt, let's put change the brightness, contrast, and white balance to make this look ideal. Let's press run and see if it can handle that. And here is what we get. Notice that if you compare this with the original photo, it just looks way better. So, forget about Photoshop. You don't need to manually figure out, the right settings for brightness, contrast, saturation, etc. You can just plug it through this AI and it would automatically polish a photo for you like this. How awesome is that? Or let's try this. I'm gonna upload this scene from Demon Slayer and let's turn this into a realistic photo. So I'm gonna write, turn this into a realistic photo. Let's press run. And here is what we get. Absolutely unreal. I mean, this has got to be the best anime to realistic converter I've come across. I mean, before, if you're using Flux or Stable Diffusion, you need to plug this into image to image and then select a realistic LoRa and then convert that, which is a lot more steps. But for here, with just one prompt, I was able to do this. And notice how, again, it keeps the consistency and the details of the original image, including the outfits and the poses of everyone. This is such a game changer. I also tried uploading this image of Ash and Pikachu, and then for the prompt I put turn into realistic photo, Asian boy and Pikachu, and here is what I got. It indeed turns this into a realistic photo, while preserving the details of everything in the original photo. Now I don't know about you, but Pikachu should look cuter than this. I mean, it looks kinda scary over here. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you've been following my channel, you'll know that I'm obsessed with finding the best AI video generators. And right now, the best one you can use is definitely Hailuo, the sponsor of this video. They've just released Hailuo 2, a state-of-the-art video model that excels in prompt understanding, physics, camera control, and overall coherence. Just look at how accurate and consistent these generations are. It's built on a new architecture called noise-aware compute redistribution, which boosts both training and inference by a lot. Getting started is super easy. Just click on video and enter a prompt describing the video you want to create, and you're good to go. You can even upload an image to use as a starting frame for more control. Plus, you can insert different camera movements throughout your prompt to make your generations even more cinematic. They also have this new agent feature, which offers a ton of pre-built templates and styles, so you can easily create videos with just one click. Let's try this template where we get an animal doing an acrobatic dive at the Olympics. So let's upload this pug and then press create. This is like an autonomous agent that decides how to process your image and create a video from that based on the template. And here's our result, complete with sound. Click the link in the description below and try Hailuo 2 today. Alright, next let's try something different. I'm gonna upload this character, and then for the prompt, let's get it to make a model sheet of this character. It's gonna be a full body shot consisting of a front, back, and side view. Now, because this original image is a vertical image, so if we just generate a new image in the same aspect ratio, it's not going to be able to fit, 3 views into this image. So instead, let's turn this into a square image. Now, in order to change the aspect ratio or dimensions of your output image, you would need to go up here and then right-click on this and then click bypass to unbypass this. And then here is where you would set the width and the height of your final image. So it says over here, we need to connect this node to K-Sampler. So let's drag this and connect it over here. And that's all we need to do to control for the size of the output image. So let's click run and see what that gives us. Perfect, so here is what we get. As you can see, our original image is vertical, but here it's 1024 by 1024. And it indeed generates a model sheet of this character with a front, back, and side view. Very impressive. So you can see with this tool, you can easily generate multiple views of any characters and use this for 3D modeling or character design. Alright, now so far, I've only shown you examples where we upload one image. What if we want to upload multiple reference images? Now, in order to do that, we need to click on this node and then right-click and then click on bypass. And then afterwards, let's upload some reference photos. I'm going to upload Will Smith and then Emma Watson over here. And then for the prompt, let's write, they are eating spaghetti together. Now, going back up here, again, here is where you can define the width and height of your final image. So let's unbypass this and then connect this to over here. And let's just leave it at the default of 1024 by 1024. And that's pretty much it. Let's click run. And here's what we get. So not exactly the results I was going for. You can see this final image kind of retains the original background from these images. So let's prompt it a bit better. Let's add together on the same table in a fancy restaurant. Let's press run and see if that's any better. Alright, this is more like it. So indeed, we have Will Smith and Emma Watson together on the same table in a fancy restaurant. And notice that in the prompt, I didn't specify Will Smith or Emma Watson. It generated these completely based on my input reference images. And notice that they look exactly like Will Smith and Emma Watson. This is the most realistic and accurate face swap or deepfake tool you can use right now for free. Now, instead of like deepfakes or face swapping, you can also use this as a clothes swapper. So for example, let me upload this dress, and then for the prompt, let's put the woman is wearing the dress at the beach. And then up here, this time let's set the output image to a vertical image. So I'm gonna set the width to 768. Let's press run and see what that gives us. And here is what we get. It indeed makes Emma Watson wear this dress at the beach. And this does look like Emma Watson, plus the dress looks exactly like the reference image. So this is also a super powerful and accurate clothes swapper. You know, clothing brands can easily use this to generate images of people wearing their catalog. Next, let's try something even trickier. I'm gonna upload this image of a storefront with this design on the window. And for the prompt, let's put mid-shot photo of the woman. She is wearing a white bikini at the beach. Extract the design on the window and use it as a small tattoo on the woman, below her collarbone, left side. And here we go! How awesome is that? Indeed, it extracts the exact design from this window and adds it as a tattoo below her left collarbone. And this indeed looks like Emma Watson. Very nice. Alright, finally let's also test out how good it is at preserving character consistency. So I'm gonna upload 2 photos of anime characters with pretty complicated outfits. And then for the prompt, let's write, they are kissing each other, lying in bed. And here's what we get. Indeed, it's these 2 characters kissing in bed. Notice that the design of their outfit is pretty complicated, but it was able to transfer everything over to this final image. So this is incredibly good at maintaining the look and design of your reference characters. So that sums up all the cool things you can do with Flux Kontext Dev. Again, this is completely free and open source. You can download it locally and run it for unlimited times, and this can do so many things, including face swapping, creating deepfakes of reference characters, virtual try-on, or even style transfer. You can convert a realistic image to anime or do the reverse. You can convert an anime image into a realistic photo. You don't need LoRa's or anything. It does everything right out of the box. This is hands down the most powerful and most consistent AI image editor you can use offline. Alright, so those are some examples. Next, let's go over how you can actually install this and run it for unlimited times on your computer. Now, there are several ways you can install this, but one of the most flexible and intuitive ways to use this is using ComfyUI. Note that on the official ComfyUI workflow for this, it says this requires about 20 gigabytes of VRAM, which is not true. I'm running this on only 16 gigabytes, and it could still generate images in just over a minute. And then here it seems like the absolute minimum VRAM you need is 8 gigabytes. But I mean, ComfyUI is pretty forgiving even if you have lower VRAMs, so it doesn't hurt to try this out. And on their official page, they've already released instructions on how you can install Kontext Dev. In this tutorial, I'm going to assume you already have ComfyUI installed. If you're not familiar with ComfyUI, definitely see this tutorial where I go over how to install it and use it. It's actually really easy to use once you get the hang of it. Alright, so going back to here, let's go over the instructions. So first, we need to download this FluxDev Kontext FP8 safe tensors file by clicking this link. And this will go in my ComfyUI folder, in Models, and then Diffusion Models. Let's press Save. Now note that this is 11.1 gigabytes, so it's gonna take a while for this to download. Now after downloading this, you also need to download this ae.safetensors file. So let's click on this, and then over here, let's click Download. Now this one goes in ComfyUI, in Models, and then in VAE. So you can see that I already have this over here. And then the next step is we also need to download this clipl.safetensors file. So let's click on this and then click download. And this one goes in ComfyUI and then models and then text encoder. As you can see, I already have it here. And then finally, you can either choose to download this FP16 one or this FP8 one. If you have a low VRAM GPU, then this one would run a lot faster at the sacrifice of some quality, but it's very minimal. So I'm going to click on this one, and this also goes in ComfyUI and then models and then text encoders, as you can see here. Note that this is 5 GB in size. Alright, afterwards, that's pretty much it. So let's start up ComfyUI. Now, the nice thing about ComfyUI is you don't actually need to program all these nodes and noodles from scratch. You can just take an existing workflow and drag and drop it onto your interface. So for example, here, we can actually download this image and then drag and drop it onto ComfyUI. So I'm going to right click and then save this, and you can save it anywhere. I'm just going to save this in my ComfyUI folder. And after that's done, let's just drag and drop it onto here. And voila, here is the full workflow pre-built for you. You don't have to program any of this from scratch. Now, when you load this up, if you see any missing nodes or basically any components that are outlined in red, make sure you click on Manager and then click Update ComfyUI. After you update to the latest version, all of these components should be available out of the box. Alright, next, let's go over this workflow and what these settings actually do. So, first of all, here is where we load the image editor model, which in our case is Flux Kontext FP8. Make sure you click into this and then select the one that you just downloaded. And then we also need to load some other models to make this work. So these are basically the files that we downloaded. Make sure you click on each one and select the one from the drop-down list which you just downloaded. And then same with this one, this is the VAE, which basically handles the encoding of the image and the decoding of the image. So again, make sure you click on this drop-down and then select ae.safetensors. And then over here is where you would enter your prompt describing how you want to edit the image. Pretty simple. Over here is where you would upload an image to use as a reference. And then over here is the guidance scale. This basically determines how much it should follow both your reference images and your text prompt. So if you find that your generation doesn't really look like your reference images enough, or it's not really following your text prompt, you can increase this value further and see if it makes it any better. If you decrease this value, then basically the AI can be more creative and not follow your input data as much. I just tend to leave this at the default. Next, your prompt and your uploaded image would go through this K-sampler, which basically processes your data and generates an image from that. Now, the seed is basically the starting point of your image, so usually you don't need to change the setting, but if you have the exact same prompt and image and the exact same settings and you set the same seed, you're going to get the same image as before. And then the number of steps is basically how many steps you want the AI to go through before generating your final image. In general, the more steps you have, the higher the quality of the image will be, but at a certain point, you're going to get diminishing returns. So usually the step count of like 20 to 30 steps is good enough. And then if you set this to a lower value, then your generation is going to be faster because it takes fewer steps to run, but you're going to sacrifice some quality. And then the rest of the settings, I just leave it at the default. And that's pretty much it. That's how you can get this workflow up and running on your computer. And that sums up my review and installation tutorial of Flux Kontext Dev. This is hands down the best free and open source image editor you can use right now. Definitely try this out. I think you'll be very impressed by its capabilities. Let me know in the comments what you think of this, and if you run into any errors during the installation, welcome to copy and paste the error messages in the comments below, and I'll try to help you troubleshoot as much as possible. As always, I will be on the lookout for the top AI news and tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, there's just so much happening in the world of AI every week. I can't possibly cover everything on my YouTube channel. So to really stay up to date with all that's going on in AI, be sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link to that will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.